Hey everyone, welcome back. For this one, we're going to take a look at the Intel i7-3770K, launched in 2011. Back then, this was the flagship CPU for Intel, with a base clock speed of 3.5 GHz, boost up to 3.9. Being the K edition, it can be overclocked. Even though it was a flagship CPU back in 2011, let's see if it still holds up in 2024 with 4 cores and 8 threads. I'm pairing it with my RTX 3060 and 16 gigabytes of DDR3 RAM, clocked at 1600 megahertz. However, Windows thinks it's still at 1333 megahertz. I don't know why, but the BIOS confirms is at 1600 megahertz. But whatever. Regardless, I still think that that's going to be the bottleneck in this in these tests. But let's see. We'll put it against some of the some newer titles. So I figured we'd start with CS2. Being a more CPU intensive game. As you can see, we're already off to a cracking start. We just showed nearly 100% utilization for the CPU there, but now that's dropped to 30-odd%, which is fine. But we're going to run it at the lower preset at 1080p with no FSR set to. How do I turn FSR off? I don't want FSR on. Disabled. We want it disabled. So we won't have any FSR on. Because in my experience, testing out all the CPUs, it doesn't really make much of a difference. It looks worse, and you still get that bottleneck. So let's set up a bot match and see how we get on. All right, here we go, and this is looking quite promising. Getting 110 FPS. Behind you, mate. There we go. Oh, hello. Oh no! Bad time to reload. It's alright. It was too slow. Actually, no, this is pretty promising. I wasn't expecting oh, for crying out loud. I was expecting to be a lot of stuttering, but this is running really smooth. Really surprised by this. I mean, we're not even utilising the whole system, but, you know, on a game like CS2, on a game like CS2, you want as many frames as possible. So if you're not using the whole system, you're gonna get the best out of it. This is, yeah, I'm really surprised by this. In fact, I just realised I never tested the i3 2120 in this game. No, they probably would have been pretty terrible. Bye bye. Bye bye. The reason why I always do bot matches is because I know I would absolutely suck at online multiplayer. I just do. It's just like I just don't have adequate response times. I mean, it looks like I'm absolutely wiping out these bots, but these bots are just rubbish. But hey, it makes it more fun. Yeah, that's those percentile lows are staying pretty steady. Uh-oh. But yes, yeah, that's CS2 runs absolutely fine on a 3770, surprisingly. So let's move on to the next one, shall we? Horizon Zero Dawn now, we're running at 1080p with the original preset for now, just to see how that all gets on. I mean, we're already utilising 100% of the CPU. Temperatures at 80 odd Celsius, which is surprising, but let's see how that translates to in-game. Now, unsurprisingly, that took quite a while to load up, but as we can see here, we are getting over 120 FPS, and percentile lows looking pretty good as well. That is.
Something's really bothering him. If he thinks I'm gonna
I'm really impressed with this CPU so far. I mean, even though yes, we're still getting a bottleneck. Oh, we got a bit of stutter there. Okay, I spoke too soon. But even so, it's still. I mean, it's it's very playable. In fact, we're getting nearly 100 FPS. Is from a what now 13-year-old CPU is really good going. It really feels like this CPU is held up well. Like I say, yes, still get a bottleneck, but with that, we've seen worse on this channel. I mean, look at the i3-2120. Now that one's did not hold up well. But that was like what, 2 cores, 4 threads. Now we've got pretty much double that kind of. We've got double that now with the 3770K. But no, this is that I think that's that's 0.1% low. Is a bit of a blip. But yeah, maybe something like a 3060 might be not the best pairing, given that bottleneck. We're not getting the most out of it. But maybe something a bit older, maybe like maybe a 2020 series card. I've forgotten how to play the game. I'm gonna die. Is that alright? We're good. We're good. We're good. Okay. Take all? I don't know. Probably not the best game to try playing if you haven't played it for a while. But no, but yeah, the 3770K doing really well at Horizon Zero Dawn, despite the odd bit of stuttering. But I think that was just a blip, and yeah, this is very playable. Let's move on to the next one, shall we? We'll try Doom Eternal now. Now, of course, this game's nearly 4 years old now, but it's a very well optimized game. We're going to run this at 1080p with no scaling. I think we'll enable ray tracing, no DLSS, high quality settings. Those changes, and let's rip and tear, shall we? We're going to try playing with control as well. Let's see how that goes. Alright, so here we go. Let's see how I get on with the controller. I've never actually played Doom Eternal with the controller, so this should be interesting. Right, I can jump. Okay, so I think we've already beaten this section. So, but hang on a minute. Let me just reset the counter. This is looking very promising. 120, nearly 120 FPS. Percentile lows looking okay. We're still getting a bottleneck. Maxing out the CPU, but this is still very smooth. There's no stuttering. I mean, yeah, the percentile lows are down to like the 30s, which is kind of to be expected. Oh, no, I need to fight some enemies. I don't know where we go next. We'll go out this way, maybe. There we go. How do we do? How do we do globe kill? There we go. No, it's chainsaw. I don't want chainsaw. Where's the globe kill? Shoot! No! Oh god. Maybe it's which ones? Oh, maybe it's I think it might be that one. Oh no. I'm crying out loud. I've forgotten all the buttons. This is the problem. Say I forgot all the controls. I don't even know what the controls are in the first place on a controller. So we'll right. Just get used to. There we go. Just use the right analog stick. Okay, no, we're good. We're good now. There we go. I mean, some games, some FPSs are pretty bad on a controller. You have to use mouse and keyboard, but I think this is running pretty well. I mean, I recently played like Fallout 76 and Skyrim on a controller, and I'm doing it pretty well. In fact, it was Skyrim that made me realise I can play FPSs with a controller. The thing is, I'm using one of the latest versions of the Xbox controller. The previous one for the which one is it? The Xbox One. That was rubbish. Came to realise how bad of a controller that actually was for first-person shooters. Get over here. Slice and dice. Who's shooting at me? Oh, it's freaking Machnatron. And I run out of hammer. But yeah, I forgot to reset the counter when I died. I'm gonna die again. But overall, we're getting a very good experience. I mean, we're getting, you know, the percentile lows very low in comparison to the average, but that's fine. You know, it's hardly noticeable. Well, I'm dead. Anyway, let's move on. We're going to check out Wild Hearts now, launched at the by EA at the beginning of 2023, and this is not looking promising. We're running this at 1080p with standard presets, and we're getting 20 odd FPS. I was thinking this might run pretty well from when I last played it, but no, this is very CPU intensive by the looks of things. So this is unplayable. It's very, very terrible. I mean, I don't think I don't think DLSS will save this, because in my past experience, you know, DLSS makes the game look worse, and you still get that bottleneck, which makes this is just terrible. Absolutely terrible. We're not, you know, the 36 is not even breaking a sweat. The 3770K is really struggling with this. Which is quite surprising, because, you know, I mean, yeah, I like the look of the game, but it's not 2023 standard, especially, you know, when we're, you know, from an EA studio, you know, from EA. It's, yeah, but then again, it is EA, so, you know, make that what you will. But yeah, unplayable on a 3770K, which this doesn't bode well for other AAA titles. I mean, let's see what happens if I add DLSS. Will that make a difference? I bet it doesn't. Let's have a look. So, where is it? Is it accessible? We probably won't be able to. Change it in the this menu. I think probably could only do it in the. Unless we maybe just change the preset to the lowest. Let's have a look. Yeah, changing the preset to lowest will make a difference, because the bottleneck is that bad that no matter what you do with the graphics, it's just not going to make a difference. You need a much more modern CPU to play this game. Yeah. I'm not even going to try and do any combat or anything. You know, you can see clearly this will just not run on the 3770K very well at all. So let's move on. So Stray is one of those games that runs pretty well on older hardware. We'll run this at 1080p with high settings and see how well this does. I figure we'll try a different level this time. Let's just reset the counter. Yeah, we'll go into the vibrant town section with all the shops and stuff. We're still getting that bottleneck. The 3060 is just barely breaking a sweat. We're not even utilising 40% of it, because the 3770K is maxed out. But even so, we're still getting a pretty nice frame rate, up to nearly over 80 FPS, nearly 90. Excuse me. Yeah, here we go. Right, now we're talking about. Let's reset that counter again. Going into Midtown. Look at this. How cool is this? But yeah, we're getting 40 on FPS, which is okay. But it's not going to get any better. If we lower the settings, it's not going to get any better, given that massive bottleneck we're getting. But at least we're not getting a lot of stuttering. Can still enjoy the game. But yeah, I said before that an RTX 3060 is not a good pairing with a 3770K. You're just not going to get the most out of it. You're probably better off going with like maybe a 16 series card, or even so like a 10 series card. Probably be a better pairing. Save yourself a bit of money. You're probably not going to get any much better performance out of it. Well, it's not going to be worse performance, that's for sure. You might still get a bottleneck, but at least you'll be able to still play some of the latest games. Because essentially you're just wasting money if you buy yourself like a 30 series card, 40 series card to pair with a CPU this age. It's just absolute waste, because, you know, even if you've got like a 40 series card, you're going to get exactly the same frame rate, because, you know, the CPU is the bottleneck. But yeah, Stray, it runs, it's playable. You still have a good time with this. You know, the stuttering's not that noticeable. Cyberpunk 2077 now. We're running this at 1080p at high settings without any resolution scaling for now. See how we get on with that. I reckon it'll do okay, not brilliantly. I mean, we're in the menu, we're already getting 100% utilization from the CPU, and the 3060 is not even breaking 30%. But let's just see, shall we? Let's start the frame counter. And yeah, as expected, yeah, we're not even getting 30 FPS. That is pretty terrible. Yeah, that bottleneck is just, yeah. Oh, hang on a minute. No, yeah, it's pretty bad. It is very bad. It's just absolutely tanking the frame rates, that bottleneck. It's, yeah. Yeah, Cyberpunk 2077, you got no chance with the. I mean, I can't help but wonder. I mean, this is 1080p high. I mean, I wonder if we like try and take away the. If we run it at 1440p, maybe. Let's see if that actually helps, because obviously we're drawing the way. You know, you like obviously allocate more resources to the GPU. You know, having a high resolution is more GPU intensive, so maybe that might make a difference to the frame rate. But yeah, it's actually making no difference. Yeah, I mean, I was actually expecting it to be slightly better, but no, it's actually significantly worse. Actually, no, we're getting nearly 40. We've got no, it's just all over the place, that frame rate. Yeah, this is not a good experience. We've reached the point now where, you know, a high-end CPU from 2011 is just not gonna cut it. Oh god, and yeah, what do these guys want from me? I mean, it's kind of playable, but yeah. I remind you that when I was doing my testing, I'm sure I got better frame rate than this. I don't know what the deal is, but either way, it's pretty terrible. I'm not doing all. I'm just getting shot at. I was just driving around, minding my own business, and now I'm being shot at. I don't know how to get out of the car with the controller. Get me out. I'm dead anyway. But yeah, Cyberpunk 2077, not playable on a 3770K. Definitely not. So to conclude, should you buy an i7 3770K in 2024? Well, I'll be honest, no. Even though these are, you know, I would say it's still sort of capable with some games. Like CS2 was a massive surprise given how CPU intensive that game can be. But in general, like your AAA titles these days, it's just not gonna cut it, even if you overclock it. And not to mention that the RAM that it's compatible with is now 2 generations old. I don't believe that there are, you know, you can get DDR4 motherboards for the Socket 1151 platform. Or was it 1155? I always forget. I always get those two mixed up. But either way, it's just not gonna cut it. But if you are gonna run a system with an i7 3770K for, like, you know, retro gaming, for example, older titles, make sure you have a decent cooler. I mean, I was seeing temperatures of like over 90 Celsius, even with it as like an Arctic branded one, which, you know, is supposed to be a reputable brand, but I'm guessing the 3770K just runs hot in general. And for RAM, you make sure it's high speed and probably go for 32 gigabytes just to you know, make sure you get the most out of that 3770K, because the RAM can be a limiting issue as well. And as for the GPU, as I mentioned before, a 3060 is just too much. You know, you're still going to get that bottleneck, and you're just not going to get the most out of a 3060. So maybe something like a 16 series or a 10 series card would be more of a wiser investment. You might still get a bottleneck, but at least you're not wasting money on a newer card that's just, you're only going to get the same performance as an older card because of that bottleneck. But overall, the 3770K is still a good CPU in my opinion. It did surprise me a lot. These days, these can be picked up for about £50, which I think is quite a lot, given that you can get newer Ryzen CPUs for around the same price. Like for example, the 2700X, which I typically use on my test bench. They can be picked up now for around a similar price. And the AM4 platform, has that upgrade path, whereas the 3770K's platform, the LGA 1155, 1151, I can't remember. I always forget those two, get them mixed up. Yeah, I just checked it. See, it's LGA 1155, the i7 3770K on, and the third gen Intel CPUs were the last on that platform, so you just don't have an upgrade path for that at all. So yeah, that's all for this one. Let me know your thoughts on the i7 3770K in the comments below. If you had one of these back in the day, or if you're still running a system with this CPU. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.